KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, which is officially baby-friendly. This evidence-based initiative is designed to support mother-baby bonding and optimal infant feeding practices by upholding the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding. San Juan Regional Medical Center, officially baby-friendly, and serving the Four Corners since 1910. Find out more online at sanjuanregional.com. Ten minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Wednesday morning, January 22nd. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Micklin, and thank you for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the air in San Juan County, 103.3 FM now over the air in Durango, Colorado, and streaming everywhere from our website, KSJE.com. We're glad you're with us, and we're also glad to welcome our viewers who are watching the visual radio program, streaming live to the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. Welcome aboard, everyone. We are glad you're here as well, enjoying the visual radio from KSJE. Our theme today, it's a bit of a theme. We didn't plan it that way, but it is. We're talking theater for a couple of programs. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. First, we're going to be talking with Randy West. He is the supervisor of the Farmington Civic Center. We'll be talking about all the events that are coming up at the Civic Center in the next few weeks, and also his plans for summer theater in Farmington. So stay tuned for that, everyone. That's coming up in the next few moments right here on KSJE. And then later on this hour, we will check in, as we always do on Wednesdays, with Dr. Mike Haddabaugh. He's a communications professor, of course. He joins us from the Encouragement Lab every Wednesday with some words of advice for communication and relationships. We'll talk more about that coming up later on this hour. The theme for his segment today is Be Who You Are, Not What You Are. So he'll explain more about that coming up later on this morning about 8:50 a.m. Mick Hess will be along after the news next hour with Roving with the Arts at 9:06. Mick will be sharing some arts news with us of some regional happenings, including things at the Farmington Civic Center, of course, and also playing music from the great Benjamin Britten, his War Requiem on the air this morning at 9:06 on KSJE. And the other part of our theater theme this morning comes to us on Right on Four Corners at 10:30 with Tracy Hales-Vass. Tracy is speaking with author Jacqueline Loring about her latest book about the Chemo Theater in Albuquerque. She'll talk with author Jacqueline Loring about that coming up at 10:30 right here on Right on Four Corners. It's our local and regional author program every Wednesday right here on KSJE. Don't forget, of course, to connect with us on social media and the weather forecast. It's going to be kind of the same for the next several days. Partly sunny skies during the day, pretty clear skies overnight, highs each day in the mid-40s and overnight lows in the mid to upper 20s in a nutshell. Maybe another storm system moving in on Monday with a chance of rain or snow showers and high of 47 on Monday. And we always say that visual radio can take you places, so why don't we take you to Vermont, where there's some snow on the ground in the Mad River Valley in Vermont. A great shot of the covered bridge there and the river running through it with ice covered along the river and snow on the ground there. It's 28 degrees in Vermont this morning. They have a sunny day, as you can see, and they're on their way to a high of 28 and an overnight low of 13 degrees in Vermont. Well, let me introduce my guest who is here with me this morning. Randy West is back with me from the Farmington Civic Center. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I am well, thank you. It's good to have you here. Thank you so much for coming in.
On the Cultural Beacon.
Right. We're glad to see you.
Thank you.
Lots of things going on at the Civic Center,
Lots of stuff going on.
You have been a busy guy, and you make your staff busy, and the actors that work for you busy, and the musicians.
Yes.
All those things, right?
We're a side shoot off of the Cultural Beacon.
You are, well, and we're glad to have you. So
thank you.
It's wonderful. So you are just getting finished with the Christmas season and the holiday season. Right, I have to point out that you brought Ed Asner, Asner, to Farmington, New Mexico, which is wonderful, and he did a great show. I was sorry that I missed it. He did a wonderful show. He did a signing. Yes.
He I think irascible is still...
That's a great word for him. Yes.
Excuse me.
And how old is he now? He is
90.
Wow. Amazing. For those of us that watched him, Mary Tyler Moore Show, the Lou Grant Show, we remember him fondly from all those irascible characters that he played.
And he came here and played God. So
I think that's typecasting, but okay.
Yeah, I
think
know.
That's great.
Very funny show, and then he stayed and did a signing, and we actually on the Sunday I was saying to you, I'm so new here. I didn't know that driving all the way out to the Four Corners is kind of driving out and putting Ed Asner on the Four Corners and taking a picture and then driving back. But we did do that. So Ed Asner has that. He wanted to see the Four Corners,
and now he has. So.
And they went to the Aztec ruins while they were here. So they did a little exploring New Mexico, and it's a great thrill for us to share New Mexico and Farmington with people who haven't seen it before.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, and that's great. We hope he'll talk it up when he gets back
Absolutely.
with his friends and other fans and things like that. But that's what's happened prior to
Right.
today. You've got a lot of stuff coming up.
We do.
In the future that I want to ask you
First,
about.
let me do a Randy correction.
Okay.
And that was we booked a really exciting. This is not a correction. This is a great choice.
Yes.
Which is Artrageous, which is
next
a
show.
New Mexico. It's a performing arts and the creative arts.
Okay.
And they do a combination of, they have a band in the middle of their show. They have dancers and mimists and performers and painters.
Okay.
And in their show, which is very visual and very musical, they actually paint 4 big portraits right in front of you during their show. And it's kind of one of those kind of magical things where they're painting and you think, what is that? What is that? What is that? And then all of a sudden you immediately know what it is they've painted right in front of you. So
cool.
It's a really cool blending of the creative arts and the performing arts.
Okay.
And and they're from New Mexico, and they're
Okay.
coming back from Arizona. And so I booked them on February 2nd at 2 o'clock. And then my staff figured out that we would be the only ones there at 2 o'clock because that's Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, there's something else going on that day,
Yeah.
so probably
So
good idea to move them.
They were very accommodating. They moved back to the Saturday.
Okay.
So now Saturday, February 1st at 7:30, we've been able to contact everybody who bought tickets and move them all to the Saturday. But we're hoping to sell obviously more tickets.
Sure.
And
Right.
it's just a real. I mean, it's hard to describe. You can go on our website and see some examples of what they do.
Okay.
But it's a really cool blending. It's part of the Kids and Family series because I handpicked that series to be something that if you brought your family to that, particularly young people.
Right.
I mean, it's all entertainment that works for adults.
Sure.
But if you bring young people, it's such a wonderful introduction to how magical the live performing arts are that it's hopefully something that builds an audience member that wants to continue seeing live performances. So that's February 2nd now at 7:30.
February 1st now, it says.
So I'm sorry.
Right?
Gosh, keep me honest.
That's okay.
It was February 2nd at 2. It is now February 1st, the Saturday night
Evening.
at 7:30.
Okay.
In the evening.
At the Farmington Civic Center.
Right.
And again, everybody, we can find out more information by going to the website, fmtn.org/civic center, I think
Right.
is the best way to find it.
Absolutely.
From the city's website. And you have a Facebook page, of course.
We do.
And there's
We do.
tons of information there as well.
Absolutely.
But
And
that's
then
a
the
great
next
show.
thing before the big thing we're about to talk about,
Okay.
which is our self-produced musical, we're doing a thing called One Night in Memphis.
Right.
And that's on February 11th. And that's based on an actual historical event where one night Elvis Presley, Carl Perkins,
That guy. Yes.
Jerry Lee Lewis, and Johnny Cash, all 4 of them, when they were younger, ended up at Sun Records because they all recorded at Sun Records.
Right.
And they were all curious about each other. And the man at the recording studio asked if he could record their evening, and they said no. And that was just for them.
Right.
And so he just hid a microphone in the corner of the room and
Did it
recorded
anyway.
it anyway.
Good for him.
And
Right.
so
And now
what
we
this
have
is a recreation of the music that they made while they were exploring each other's songs on that night. And so it's a real fun evening of all 4 of them playing in each other's styles.
Interesting.
And that's on February 11th. And that's
Okay.
the next show in the music and comedy series.
Okay, very good. And then, and this is fascinating because again, these very famous men who they became very famous,
Right.
but this is kind of a snapshot in time right before
they were
fame
really,
took off,
really
right?
famous, right?
Yeah, and they were all together just by happenstance, I suppose,
right, by
because
choice.
of their recording studio, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so that's coming up. So another great show.
Yep.
So,
And then the next thing that we're doing is Four Corners Musical Theater, which is the professional musical theater company that we're founding here in Farmington.
Right.
That the next show that they're doing is called Disaster.
okay.
It's
with an exclamation point.
with an exclamation point.
It's disaster.
Right.
Yeah,
It's because it is a spoof of all the 70s disaster movies.
right.
And so if you can imagine, it takes place on a casino ship that is docked at a deck that never sails.
Okay.
Until they get hit by a earthquake, which turns the ship upside down, and then it sails, and then it's exposed to sharks and piranhas and rats and fire.
Okay.
And all these things that are in disaster movies.
Right. And for folks maybe who don't remember the 1970s or too young to remember the 1970s, some of us do, but those were...
Like Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah, that was the genre of film for...
Right.
There were so
Right.
many of them that came out. We had the cruise ship that flips over, the Poseidon Adventure. You
Towering Inferno.
had big high-rise on
Earthquake.
fire, Earthquake, Rats, Jaws started in that
Jaws,
era.
all those films.
And so this is all those types of satire. And,
all wrapped in
Yeah.
38 70s tunes that are actually integrated into the plot. So it's not a jukebox musical where they just stop the plot and do a song.
Right.
The songs are all integrated into a very funny plot with all the stereotypical characters. There's the kind of evil casino guy who's cut the corners, which is the reason that the ship is not safe. There's the aging showgirl who has a set of twins that are played by the same young man who's
Right.
a local cast.
Okay.
And he plays himself and his sister. And then there's the older couple who's getting ready to retire and has a secret. And so it's all the quintessential disasters. There's the nun with the gambling addiction. And so it's very funny. And 38 70s pop tunes. And we're doing it with a live band on stage performing with us through that. And it's the biggest technical package we've put together for Four Corners so far. So
Wow.
it's a lot of fun stuff.
And so this, and we have a clip, I know. We want to show
Yes,
that
we
too,
do.
because it shows some of the great music too.
Right.
And it's been produced by someone that folks might know. Who,
Seth Radesky,
Right.
who helped write it.
Yes.
If you ever watch Sirius FM, XM radio, in the afternoon, the Broadway host is Seth.
Right.
And he and his partner wrote this show. He's also a pretty famous musical director and an accompanist. And so it's very smart in terms of the way it's put together. I know Seth, and he's actually sent us new versions of the songs that have been adapted and a brand new mega mix that will be one of the first theaters to do. So we've got some material that's brand new we'll be exploring. And Mark Hansen, who's a musical director that I've worked with for 35 years, is coming into town to teach the professional actors. And for those of you, and everybody should be, that's a fan of Melissa Chevers and Paul Stewart, local professional talent, they're both in it. And along with national and regional talent, we've got some talent coming down from Durango. So we're expanding the routes into New Mexico, as well as using national talent to do the disaster.
Terrific. And that's been part of your goal, I think, by
Right.
forming this local musical theater company, right?
Right.
Is to kind of blend the local talent with maybe some national
Absolutely.
folks that you can bring in that you know from prior.
So it's building solid roots into the community to hopefully define something in Farmington that down the road will define us culturally. And I mean, I'm not saying we're going to be Santa Fe Opera, which is a nationally known entity and has been for years, but I think we can grow toward being something that they go, oh, and Farmington has all these wonderful things in it and a musical theater company.
Sure. Well, and the other part of that, too, is the musicians. And I know
Right.
you made a conscious effort to hire local musicians, whereas maybe other places could use maybe canned music or
Right.
recorded music, and we have live musicians.
We are
as you're
hiring
saying, for this show.
local professionals to play all our shows this season.
So that's exciting as well. But
Yeah.
let's take a look at this clip
Sure,
from Seth.
absolutely.
And basically, this is a clip. He's kind of pitching it to people like you,
Right.
to book it for your
Right, and
your
and the
space.
clips are all from the original Broadway show, not from ours, because we haven't put it together yet.
No,
Right.
But this is kind of similar to what we will see and hear
Right.
for Disaster.
Correct.
Coming to the Farmington Civic Center, and the dates again, Andy West?
February 19th through the 23rd.
All right, here we go, everybody.
Hey everyone, it's Seth Rudetsky, the Broadway host on Sirius XM Radio, and I want your theater to do the Broadway musical I co-wrote called Disaster. Why? Not just because it's a New York Times critics pick, but because it is the most fun show to do. And I should know I did it 8 times a week on Broadway. First of all, what is it, you ask? I'll tell you. It's based on all those amazing disaster movies from the 70s. Poseidon Adventure, Towering Inferno, Earthquake. That was about snakes. And every single disaster is in the musical. It is hilarious. Earthquakes, tidal waves, fire, rats, piranhas, sharks. And you cannot believe the amount of hit songs. Look, Hot Stuff, I Will Survive, Knock on Wood, Hooked in a Feeling, Never Can Say Goodbye, Daybreak, Ben, Sky High, When Will I Be Loved, I Can't Live. I can't sing. Every single song on the show was a mega hit in the 1970s, and all the songs advanced the plot. Not possible, you say? Yes, it is. S-A-T-U-R-D-A-Y, nice. S-A-T-U-R-D-A-Y, nice.
Dancing to the music in our heart and soul on Saturday night. Hey! Saturday night.
It's like thunder, lightning. The way you love me is frightening. You better knock, knock, knock on wood, baby. Ooh, 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 ooh. Looking for some hot stuff, baby, this evening. Some hot stuff, baby, tonight. I want some hot stuff, baby, this evening. Gotta have some hot stuff, gotta have some hot stuff. The handsome young waiter searching for his one true love. The reporter who's a feminist. The nun with a gambling addiction and a high belt. The emotionally shut down disaster expert. The sexy lounge singer unlucky in love. The 11-year-old boy and girl twins, played by the same boy. The nerdy best friend. The faded disco diva who wants her money. The villain. Devious businessman. The older couple still in love and ready to live their life to the fullest after retirement. But she's got a secret. And an ensemble as large or as small as you want. At the beginning, they're sexy partygoers, and by the end, they're struggling for their lives after an earthquake, tidal wave, sharks, piranhas, rats, and even more disasters. And everyone has a great featured comedic part. Disaster is a family show. Everybody loves it. Older people, younger people, middle people.
If I have to, I can do anything. I am strong, strong. I am invincible, invincible. I am woman. I am woman. I am woman.
Climbing to the costumes, amazing music, non-stop comedy, and the show has real heart. In conclusion, do Disaster. You will have the best time. Your audience will have the best time. Disaster, I'm telling you, is a show for you. Bye.
And that is coming to the Farmington Civic Center again in, just a couple of weeks. Randy West is my guest, the supervisor of the Farmington Civic Center. And so it does look and sound like a great show,
It's
Randy
really
West.
funny. It's loaded with good music. It's well arranged, great arrangements, good singing, and high energy. And
Yeah,
just
I
a
can
really
tell.
good way to kind of found this company at the next level.
Well, exactly. And again, the dates again are coming up in February.
Yeah,
I know.
February 19th, we do a paid preview on that Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
and then we perform Thursday through Sunday, all at 7:30, except the Sunday that we close is a 2 o'clock matinee.
All right, and we want to give away some tickets.
We sure
because
do.
You are very generous to allow us to
Absolutely.
do that. So let's give some folks a chance to call in right now. If you're within the sound of our voice from wherever you are, you can call us here at the radio station, 505-566-3909, 390.9. That is the number here to KSJE, and we will give you a pair, so you can take somebody to go see Disaster at the Farmington Civic Center coming up next month. So while folks are finding their phones and pulling over to the side of the road to make a call, we'll talk about summer, because
Sure.
it's a cold, blustery day, so what better than to think about the warm New Mexico sunshine and,
Absolutely.
and summer in Farmington.
The Four Corners Musical Theater season has one more show in this season, which is in April. We're doing a brand new version of Camelot.
Okay.
And that's on April 22nd through the 26th. And a friend of mine that I went to college with has taken Camelot, and instead of being 45 people in 3 hours and 40 minutes, it's 10 people in 2 hours and 10 minutes. And so it's a whole new cutting that is done in story theater, where all the actors narrate the story and then jump in and out of it. So it's a
Okay.
new cinematic way, and all the great Lerner and Lowe songs still in it.
Good,
And so that's
right.
that's the last thing in this season for Four Corners. Then we start the summer season, and it's a little different this year. The summer season it's 2 musicals at the beginning and the end of the summer at the Civic Center, and then Sandstone at the outdoor amphitheater in the middle.
Okay.
And there are local paid slots, and there are local volunteer slots in all 3 shows, and we're doing open auditions for all 3 shows at the very last day of February,
Okay.
which is that Saturday at 9 o'clock, and then that Sunday, the first day of March, at 1 o'clock. That's all going to be coming out on our website and Facebook, but you can also call me
Okay.
if you want more information, or email me. I'm rwest, RWEST, at fmtn.org, or you can call me at 505-599-1150, or you can call our office if you want information at 505-599-1148.
Okay.
And obviously our website and our Facebook will have all this information. But the 3 shows for the summer, in June, we're doing the Stephen Sondheim musical, Merrily We Roll Along,
Okay.
which 35 years ago, it was what jumped my career. I was invited by Stephen Sondheim and George Firth to do the post-Broadway workshop production. It was not a big success when it played on Broadway, and they wanted to fix it. And so they did a workshop at La Jolla in California, and then they ended up doing a workshop in Phoenix while I was in Phoenix. And I was invited to work with Sondheim and Firth for 6 months, creating a little bit. I mean, they were the big creators. I was the little,
Right.
I was the mouse in the corner, but I did get to be there while we created this new version of Merrily that we then did together, all 3 of us in Phoenix, with the 4th being the musical director, who is Mark Hansen, who is coming to musically direct this whole summer with us. So Mark was with me when I did Merrily with Sondheim. And Steve is still alive. Steve is 90.
Holy
He's turning
smokes.
90.
Okay. All right.
And
Wow.
I can't promise you Steve will come to Farmington to see our Merrily.
Well.
But he was connected to it. And if you anywhere in the United States, if you do Merrily, you now do the version that we got to fix.
That one.
So you do
That
our
one.
version.
Okay.
Right. And
Well-
so 35 years later, we're kicking off the summer by doing it again.
Okay. Well-
For 5 nights in
Right.
June.
Okay.
And there are local slots in that. And then we go to Sandstone, and
I just wanted to say, you said that you don't know if Stephen Sondheim will come to Farmington, but Ed Asner came to Farmington, and
That's
he's
right.
90, so anything is possible.
Anything's possible.
Especially with Randy West involved, so I wouldn't put it past you, but
we
we'll see
certainly
what
will
happens.
make sure Steve knows we're doing it.
I bet he will know, that's for
And,
sure. So
then
Merrily We Roll Along is
Merrily
first.
We Roll Along in June, and then with a live orchestra and and Mark Hansen conducting.
Right.
And then we go out to Sandstone July 1st through the 19th. We do 3 weekends doing Mamma Mia at Sandstone, and there are roles open in Mamma Mia
Okay.
with a live band. And then we come back.
All that great music
All
that
that
Mamma
great-
Mia
all
represents,
the- all
right?
the
All the
ABBA
ABBA
stuff.
songs, right? That's
And,
out
in the amphitheater.
Sure.
And then we come back in the very end of July, beginning of August, to the Civic Center, and we're doing the well-beloved family musical Annie.
there you go. Right.
And with Annie, we have a youth ensemble. We're hoping to cast Annie herself locally, but certainly all the orphans. And we're holding slots for young people, middle-aged, middle school people, and high school people, as well as locals.
You need orphans of all ages.
Orphans
is
of
what
all
it sounds
ages.
like, yes.
And what we're going to do is we'll hold this open audition on the last day of February at 9 and the first day of March at 1 at the Civic Center. And people that want to audition, if you happen to have a headshot and a resume, bring them on down. If you don't, that doesn't keep you away from the audition.
Okay.
Just come down,
Okay.
fill out an audition form. We'd like you to sing 2 minutes of something. And it can be from a musical, it can be a pop tune. We will provide an accompanist to play for you. And basically, if you sign up in advance, you can sign up for about a 5-minute slot where you'll come in, meet us, sing your 2 minutes. Then there will be callback auditions for all 3 musicals after those open auditions.
Okay.
But we really want to invest the community into the professional company for this summer, and it's a chance to, if you're involved in Annie, what happens is the choreographer that's doing Annie with me is a dear friend that I've known her whole life. We've done Annie 2 times before together. And she will give me a list of about 15 to 20 things that she would like the dancers for Annie, the local dancers, to be able to do when she gets here. And Paul and Melissa, who run the youth program in the summer with me, will be working with the locals during the summer with me. And literally we call it Annie Boot Camp.
Okay.
And we'll figure out when they can meet. Historically, for some reason, it's kind of moved toward 1 o'clock on Saturdays. And they come down when they're available. And the 20 things that we have to teach, if you're a high school dance student and you can walk into that rehearsal and do all 20 things, you're done. If you can't, we'll teach you. If you've never done a pas de bourrée, if you've never done a single time step, during the summer we will teach those techniques so that by the time we go into rehearsal for Annie, you're at the same level as the people that are coming in that are trained, so you really get to perform at a whole different level. If you don't do this, the local people end up kind of being furniture, that they stand in the back and do arms and stuff, and this is really
People dance around them.
Right.
Yes.
It's really integrating them.
This, yeah.
When I've done this
Right.
in the past, and I really believe in mentoring, I really think that when you get talented people around people that are in the sweet spot of their professional careers, that are doing this for a living, you see such talent get unlocked, such potential shoot up, that by the time, I hope, that the audience sees Annie, they won't say, well, look at all these terrific professionals and here are the locals. They'll just see, oh, look at all this wonderful talent.
I can't tell
And
them
that's what
apart.
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's where we're trying to get by Annie in August with Four Corners Musical Theater.
Very exciting. But the auditions are going to be for all 3 of these
Right.
shows at the end of February and the 1st of March.
Right.
Is what you're saying.
And you
That's
can
Saturday
call
and
us,
Sunday.
Email us, whatever you want to get more information. If you have questions about the shows, all of that will start going up our marketing person is placing all that. I
Okay.
think it might be there now.
Probably,
but it's very
but
close
will be
to
soon.
being there.
Right. And just another question, Randy West.
Yes.
If I am auditioning, am I going to be in all 3 shows?
No,
Is it just you
not
decide?
necessarily. It's entirely you.
It's
can
one
come-
audition to be considered.
It's
maybe.
one audition, and on that form, you can say I want to be considered for all 3 shows.
Okay.
We'll also be saying exactly when the rehearsals are, what the commitment is. Now, I will say that in the summer, when we're rehearsing, say for Disaster, we rehearse for 12 days, and mostly we rehearse 9 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon because it's a professional audition zone.
Yes.
For the summer, the reason we're doing the auditions early enough is that we can see who we have come in. I can audition. I mean, I can rehearse in the evenings, and we will be rehearsing on the weekends. And we can build tailored rehearsals for the people who have real jobs and have to work 9 to 5. We can rehearse them in the evening, and we can rehearse them over the weekends.
Okay.
And we will adapt. My marketing person was saying, could I put that in an easy term to understand? And I said, well, not exactly, because I need to see how many people I have locally and what they're involved in, and then we'll adapt the rehearsal schedule so that they can do the shows. So
I see.
we are making sure that there's allowance made for local talent to be able to do all 3 shows if there are people that qualify for those shows and want to do them.
Okay. But the first step would be to show up at
To
the
show
open
up
auditions.
and believe me, our auditions are not scary. I mean, it's in a small room with us and a piano and a table. You come in, we say hi, we say, what are you interested in doing? You tell us, you sing your 2 minutes, we take a few notes, and then after that, we sort people into callbacks, and even the callbacks are not scary. So
Okay.
none of that should put you off from getting involved.
And you can make an appointment, or you just show up. Is that
You
the
can
option?
show up at 9 o'clock and just see
Those
when you
days?
can get in, or you can call us ahead of time, and we're happy to book an appointment.
Okay. And if I have a favorite piece of music I
You
want to be
come
able to
sing it.
sing, can I bring my sheet music and give it
Absolutely.
to your accompanist?
And we're good to go.
And that's what you need for 2 minutes.
Right.
Okay.
Good.
Very good. Well, Randy West, it's always a pleasure to
Always,
have you here.
always a thrill. Thank you.
We're all excited. And again, the next act coming to the Farmington Civic Center is
Outrageous.
Outrageous,
which
which
is
will be
not
on-
on Super Bowl Sunday.
It
It's
is
on
not.
the Saturday before Super Bowl Sunday.
Right.
February 1st at 7:30. It's creative arts and performance arts put together, music, dancing, mime, big visual thing, and they paint 4 portraits right in front of you.
Right there.
At 7:30 on February 1st. Tickets are available right now.
Okay. I know we just renovated the Civic Center. I hope
We
you got a
did.
deposit from them, so then we can paint on your furniture.
That's right.
Okay. Very good. Randy, thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. That's Randy West, everyone, the supervisor from the Farmington Civic Center, talking about all the events coming to the Farmington Civic Center in the next few months, and of course, the Summer Theater coming up in Farmington as well. He's my guest here on KSJE, and I'll be back with more in just a moment, everyone. The time right now is 8:42. This program on KSJE is supported by Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation, providing a competent, innovative, and caring team of professionals to serve wealth management, trust administration, employee benefit plans, retirement planning, and estate settlement needs. Find out more about Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation at 505-599-0181.